unviewed. Look at the trees here. I mean, that's what this area is, the size of the trees. Just beautiful. Look at a white pine in front of you sticking out. White pines being the symbol of American resistance to King George III at the beginning of the American Revolution, because the king wouldn't let us cut trees. Oh, there's that eagle again, Pete. Oh, yeah. Coming our way. There he is. Look at that. That's the immature guy that we saw earlier. Maybe another one.
Yeah, maybe.
Crazy. To think that back in 1984, I hadn't seen an eagle yet, and I had spent half of my life outside in places that, and around lakes, in places that you would see eagles. And now we're at Walmart, and eagles are flying over our heads. Oh yeah, look at a snapper right there.
No, not a snapper.
Oh, a wood turtle?
Might be.
A wood turtle.
Let's go look.
Let's go look. We're going to investigate Mr. Turtle. It's going to be too quick for you. You can't catch that turtle. That is a wood turtle.
I think so. If it's a wood turtle, I can catch it.
You'll never catch it. You're too slow. You can maybe trick a bird, but not a turtle. See it?
I haven't seen a wood turtle in 30 years.
They're very rare, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's a wood turtle.
That's a wood turtle. Yeah.
How cool is that, people?
On film.
Huh?
Get that on film.
Catch it, Steve. Catch it. Stop being a wimp. Why do you have to? Want me to get him?
No, I got it.
I'll get him if you want, if you're afraid.
It's just slippery over here.
Yeah, it is. Now, don't make the canoe tip over.
I'm not trying.
Reach out and grab him, Steve. Look at him. He's got him a turtle. We can make soup.
No, we're not going to make soup.
But wash him off so you show the camera.
Yep.
He's going to wash him off. Now, we didn't catch any big fish yet, but we got a turtle that my biologist brother hasn't seen in 20 years, 30 years.
Now, you can tell, one of the ways you can tell he's a wood turtle is because of that red legs.
Right.
Right? And look at the plastron up here.
Yeah. It's gnarly, like a snapping turtle.
Now, this, every year, like a tree, puts down another ring.
Watch out, he's going to bite your finger is what he's going to do.
Nice,
I would love it if he took a hunk out of your finger right now. We're so far away from anything.
So we can tell how old this guy is.
Count the ring, Stephen. Count the ring. Stop keeping me guessing. He does this to me all the time. Now we got him counting. Not his best thing, but he's doing it. What do we got? I told you. You see how long this is taking him? He didn't remember, that estimation stuff that he did back in the scientific notation.
16 years old.
16 years old. That is cool. Notice how he put him right back where he found them, because that's what we do. We let our fish go. We let our turtles go. We could have made soup out of that, Steve. But instead, we leave him sitting in the sun, and he pops his goofy head back out.
I believe those are threatened species in Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, we got him in West Springfield right here. In the Westfield watershed, right? The Westfield River watershed. The lower Westfield River, we're still above the dam, and we're approaching, what do we got right here? This is the old railroad bridge abutments. There were 2 railroad bridges that crossed here, I'm pretty sure. Maybe one of them was a trolley bridge. I'm not dead certain on it. This one right here, I believe, got built in 1899, 1900, right around there. And it connected Feeding Hills with West Springfield and Springfield. And interestingly, it was out of business by World War II and demolished for scrap. Now you got to remember that when we're talking about the rail lines that literally carpeted New England, some of them serviced factories that went out of business, but others were commuter rail lines that were hit by trolleys and automobiles. By World War II, Americans had gone from riding rails to riding roads. So they like to call this the Great Wall, right, Pete? This is like the West Springfield's Great Wall, right? And now there's a power line running by it.
Great crested flycatcher calling too, Ken.
What?
Great crested flycatcher.
Now we got to cast at the. I don't think so. This is too shallow. We got some sand here. I don't think it's worth throwing some casts right now. I think we got to make some tracks because the sun is westering, and We got to get around the dam.
Yeah.
No joke, we got to get around the dam. So we're kind of paddling along, and we, believe it or not, came out. There's another portion of the abutment on the West Springfield side of the river right there.
Yeah.
You can see it?
Yeah.
And the wood turtle must have been a commuter.
That's actually exciting. That wood turtle exciting.
It was exciting to me.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I'm not a turtle guy. I like turtles, but I'm not like a resident turtle expert. Nobody comes up to me and says, ID this turtle. I do know what a wood turtle is. I mean, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck, right?
Or like a box turtle.
Huh?
Or a box turtle.
Yeah, box tortoise, right?
You get an idea of box turtle?
Box tortoise, I love them. They're one of my favorite New England critters, and they're increasingly threatened because of automobiles running them over.
Yep.
Look at a fish right here.
Actually.
Big smallmouth bass right there,
Yeah.
swimming.
Couple of them.
Yeah, two nice smallmouths, just
Actually, they
probably bedding.
one of the reasons, Stan, why their numbers are declining is because of the illegal pet trade.
Yeah, which drives me crazy because little Jimmy wants a turtle in his fish tank.
No, because Mr. Smith says, Jimmy, I want you to go and find out as many of these as you can. And Jimmy goes and finds them, and the guy gives him like $1 or $2.
And sells them on the black market
Right, he
for...
sells them to China.
Right, because in China they want our turtles like we want China's turtles.
Yep.
Thus the snakehead makes his appearance in American river systems, slowly moving north.
Yep.
What's good about the snakehead though is he tastes good. So, if he comes here, we will eat him. We're catch and release guys. Now right here, Steve, if you look at the bottom of the river, and I'm going to bring the camera up, you can see beautiful sandstone formations going across the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. There's beautiful sandstone formations that we're going to start seeing. Yeah, there's a sucker. But we're going to see all kinds of these sandstone formations as we move. And the native people piled boulders at right angles to these formations, creating like box traps to grab the shad and salmon and herring and interrupt their runs, right? And then they'd spear them. Now, that could have been a trout right there. Wildflowers are blooming on the shore. Again, we're like in West Springfield, between West Springfield and Agawam. We're enjoying this beautiful afternoon in May. It's May 21st, I think. We got out of school at 2, we got on the river at 3, and our plan is to head down the river and show you guys in Westside what you got here.
You hear that?
Because,
Is that true?
yeah, Steve's just heard another bird.
No, that wasn't bird. That was American toad.
Oh, an American toad makes his appearance. The point is, this is all waiting for you. You got to get out and see it. And you can bring your fishing poles or not. Bring your binoculars like my brother. Low impact. You find one of these turtles, do not disturb him much or at all. My brother Steven is a trained wildlife biologist, so he's fine with the handling of these critters. But if you're not sure yourself, don't do it. But get out here. And if we can make this happen, my brother and I would love to see a kayak paddle created from back there at the Russian church on down to the Big E maybe. Steve says Pension Park, but that's in Agawam. I'd like to see a kayak
Well, you don't want to go to
pull-out.
Bonnie's Islands, man.
No. I'd like to see a kayak pull-out somewhere on the Big E or even on the River Road stretch there where the dike comes up against the road. That's where we're going to pull out today. And that sun's going down behind us. I mean, what time is it now, Steve?
Got to be about 5.
Probably around 5. And we're at the heel of Westside right now. And I call this the heel of West Springfield because this is where the Westfield River is going to turn. Right now we're almost heading dead south. And what it's going to do is it's going to turn for a while and head dead north. 5:11. So we are fairly close to the schedule that I had in my head for this trip. We haven't caught a lot of fish yet, though. Steve's caught one. I am currently blanked. I don't know if I'm going to live this down. But
You're going to live that down.
bird boy with a fish, me, with nothing but the sighting of a beautiful wood turtle, some bald eagles, some crazy other birds that he named off to me. And of course, we got some great footage of the fishware back there. And you can see right here on our left, the heel of West Springfield, as I call it. When I was a kid, the teacher showed us a map of West Springfield and said, West Springfield's like Italy. It looks like a boot, but West Springfield's in America, so it looks like a cowboy boot. That's what the teacher told us back in the old days. And seriously, the area that you're looking at to the left is cut off from the rest of West Springfield by the railroad, right? CSX now. And that railroad's been in place for, what, 180 years, 190 years, since 1840, really, when it was finished. Steve's pointing out.
Eastern kingbird over there.
Eastern kingbird's over here somewhere in that pile. I see him. He's in that down tree. Yeah, he just flew. And we can see the kingbird. He's going to tell us why it's called the Eastern kingbird now.
You know, I'm not really sure.
He's not sure, so we caught him. And I'm almost surprised there's no turtles on that log. That's like perfect turtle log. You know, that's where you're going to see the painted turtles sunning themselves.
Painted turtles typically aren't like a lot of rivers. You see them a lot more ponds. And
Yeah.
especially like.
Well, you know where I see a ton of turtles?
What's that?
I see so many turtles on the Housatonic River.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Well, Housatonic's got those ponds that form.
Right, oxbows.
Right.
Well, you know the lower Westfield does too, or
Yep.
did until we
Yep.
tried to straighten it out. Now you look at the bottom here and it's crisscrossed by mussels. There's
Yeah.
mussel trails across the bottom
All
everywhere
over.
here. What a great place to take a dip in the water on a hot day. And as you work your way over to the Agawam shore, it gets increasingly deeper, right? Right here, it's all sand, you walk in. Now, if you come down here swimming, I always tell the kids, and Steve does too in our classes, get yourself a pair of sandals, fool.
Yep.
You're a long way away from help. You know, and people have been throwing bottles in this river since glass bottles were invented. I mean, I can imagine a colonist tossed a glass bottle in this river back in like 1750, right?
Yeah, we have a
1801.
We had a former student who did the very thing you're talking about, cut up his foot.
Yeah, I remember. And we constantly, I remember telling the kid, he was in the hunting and fishing club, I said, you know what, get yourself a pair of sandals if you're going to go wading around in the river. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You can see again what may have been an Amerindian fishware.
Got spotted sandpiper here, sir.
Looking on the right side of the river here, you can see what is clearly human-piled rocks in a reef extending out into the river. See what I'm talking about, Steve?
Oh yeah.
Where that stream comes in?
Yep.
So right there,
Where that
and
spotted
then we
sandpiper
see
is,
these
sir.
same rocks extend across the river, right here in a perfect spot. Look at that beautiful rivulet sneaking into the river right there. That's cool.
From Robinson State Park.
Yeah, the kind of thing that I see a lot. Okay, you can paddle. You can paddle because you want to keep forward progress here. Not too hard. Just keep the bow going forward. Now we're in. And now, if it's steep enough back here on the left side, we have a spot where we might be able to pick some fish off. Scoot to this way. Scoot left.
You left?
Scoot left, go out that way. Yeah, scooting left. And where we are now is in some deeper water where I think we might be able to get something to hit. Give it a cast now. I could try the Euro nymphing here. I have not been doing it. Euro nymphing is a technique in fly fishing where you're using a very small couple of nymphs and you're basically casting and letting the current get your nymph down low. You don't want any resistance. And it's very effective. It's something, seriously, if I want it to work here, I probably should get out of the canoe and try hitting some of these runs, because what you want to do is scientifically take apart a run, and that's not something I can do here. But still, if I get this in the right spot and there's a fish that's willing to cooperate, you want to keep tight line on your nymphs when you're doing this. I have a how-to on fishing historic places if you're interested. It is
Fifth fly catcher on this ship that I see, I heard.
And there's a lot of flies here on the Westfield River watershed, huh?
Red-eyed vireo.
Oop, missed one. Had a bang on the Euro nymph. As that sun westers over Mitteneague Park here. Steve and I are enjoying a very picturesque afternoon. While we're not catching a lot of fish, we are enjoying nature in all of her sublime glory, her sublimity. Looking at some beautiful white pines, some oaks, sugar maples, elms. I wish Seth Swift were here. He was the old tree warden in West Side. What a guy. Used to give all the kids a little pine tree on Arbor Day. I don't even know if we have a tree warden anymore.
We gotta.
You know what? They ought to make you the tree warden. What the heck's the matter with the community? Why? You know, what the heck? You know, we're supposed to be so into the environment. We give up on the tree warden. I hear people talking about Earth Day. Oh, big fish just came up right there, Steve. Came out of the water right down there. Beautiful looking fish. Big fish.
We do have a town botanist or whatever it is.
We got a botanist.
Yep. I met her a couple years ago when she was doing a census on plants when I was doing a census on birds.
Why don't you be the town ornithologist? The town bird boy.
Doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay. No, it doesn't pay. The tree warden, I think, got a stipend from the town. I'm not sure.
Sure.
But Seth Swift was really into it. Like that guy, he probably gave his money back to the community by giving the kids the trees that I just mentioned.
But he got a grant.
Maybe he had a grant. Who knows? He might have. But he might have. He was the kind of guy that would have given his money back to the kids.
Goes on to.
Now this is Fishing Historic Places. Where we are right now, we should call the Mitteneague Reservoir because this pond is created by the dam. And what Steve and I are going to do is boogie on down to get below that dam while we still got good light to get over the crazy path that we're going to have to take with this canoe. So we're going to do that, and we're going to see you when we get below the dam. Well, I guess we'll show you us monkeying the thing over the dam, so we'll see. So while Steve pulls up the canoe here at the Mitteneague Factory Dam, we're now preparing to negotiate the portage. So you can see he's grabbing a paddle, he's grabbing some gear, and we're going over the top. You see down here is the dam. West Springfield residents. There's your famous fish ladder over there that most of you haven't been to see, that allows the anadromous fish, shad, salmon, blueback herring, alewives, sturgeon to come up over this dam that's been here for a long time and continue on their spawning journey up the Westfield River. If you look below, you can see those sandstone outcrops. Before the dam, this was Mitteneague Falls. What we got to do now is come around. I've been down here in a flood, and it is something to see. Beautiful. That is a shad. Sometimes shad do not survive the spawn. So we did manage to scramble over the Mitteneague Dam. And we've got the fish ladder on the other side of us. And right here is the island. Now this island's probably half a mile long and heads down toward the Veterans Bridge. Steve and I are going to head across the plunge pool below the dam, and we're going to then move down the west side where the channel is a little deeper. At least that's the plan. What did you find? A shad scale. He's in a world of wonder here. But this dam, as you guys can see, let me zoom in, is actually made of wood. There's rock and wood interspersed here. Massive 6x6s, 8x8s. It's been like this since I was a kid, and it's none the worse for wear. And really behind it, it's not holding a lot back. There's a lot of sand. So we're gonna move down the river now. I put a shad dart on my brother's fishing pole, so he's ready. Look at that dam bulging. Did we hit one? No, not getting over. Looks like we hit a boulder. This thing's happening. Take your shower today? Yeah. We can get you in there if you need it. I told you to bring soap. Did you bring soap? He didn't bring soap. Our nephew Devin doesn't believe in soap. Doesn't think it does anything. At least that's what he told us. He was in 8th grade when he said that. 8th graders are not known for their brains. They're fun people though. I worked with them for years. All right, slow down now. Because we are in the area where there's going to be a massive school of shad doing their thing. I remember the first time I looked over the dam here, from the west side, there was a school of shad. I don't know how many thousand shad were swimming around. They should be right over on the other side. See it over there? It should be right over where we're headed, in the big pool over there. So right on the other side of this rock. We're okay, I'll paddle us over. So you're gonna have a lot of fish right here. All right.
I thought it was a little late for shad.
Oh no, there's tons of them.
When did they stop running?
Uh-oh! Did he get wet? Looks like they need to put a little more I-bar and concrete in that dam, doesn't it?
Yeah. Got through okaying and building a portage here, and then the dam broke.
Huh.
Yeah, that would be ironic.
Irony.
ladder start?
The ladder starts, I think, right on the left, no? Right where it says danger, no swimming. Or does it start behind that waterfall? It probably starts behind that waterfall.
Oh yeah, it goes right in there.
Yeah. So right behind the waterfall, the shad go into the ladder, and then they work their way up.
Bottom it out.
Yeah, I don't think this looks good. There's shad coming up like anything though. You can see shad down there. Don't move too quick. You can see their tails coming up out of the water as they try to negotiate those rapids. There's a lot of shad coming up there. They come up in bunches if you study them. Like I've been down here for years, and if you watch them, they'll hide behind rocks, and then they'll make a run. And then they'll hide behind rocks, and then they'll make a run.